This podcast was produced by OAR FM Dunedin with support from New Zealand On the Air.
Welcome to What's News Dunedin, brought to you by Hazur Kebab, the radio show that spawned from the 22,000 plus strong local Otipoti Dunedin What's News Dunedin Facebook group. The group that's been putting the social back into social media since 2020 with respectful adult debate and a sense of humour. I'm your host, Richard Knights. On today's show, we talked to our wonderful guest, Aimee Taylor, senior firefighter from Fire and Emergency, based out of Dunedin Central Fire Station, who will be telling us more about themselves and what they do, as well as helping us look back at the posts that generate the most interactions over the past 7 days on the What's News Dunedin Facebook group. Those posts this week are the temporary road closure and trial for Queen's Drive and the reaction of some community board members, the awful weather and deadly landslides, unfortunately, we've been having at Mount Maunganui, and Councillor Ong seemingly refusing to cooperate with the Code of Conduct investigation into the complaint that he has brought against Councillor Chambers for alleged derogatory comments. Welcome to the show, Aimee.
Thank you very much. Thanks for having me. Thanks for inviting me.
Absolutely, no, it's a pleasure to have you here. We've communicated online a reasonable amount, and it's nice to finally meet people in the flesh and have you on the show. We'll talk about you and all your stuff in a little bit, but before we do, if you're on the page, I think you are, you'll know that we do a Pun Day Monday.
Yep.
So Pun Day Monday, best dad jokes, best puns, and we bring them onto the show on a Friday, and we see if they're funny. All right, genuine. If they come off the page into real life, there's absolutely no requirement to laugh at any of these jokes. All right, I tend to find them funny, but I do like a pun. Right. So the pun of the week this week is it's actually a pun that I've probably been telling this joke since I was about 4. It's not my joke. It's just happened to be one that I'm very familiar with. It was why was the beach wet? Because the seaweed. You know, it's
good. I love dad jokes. I love them.
Dad jokes are the best. It's like I can see my grandkids telling me that joke, you know, and finding it absolutely hilarious. So. Now, before we get into the serious stuff of the show, which is talking about you and yourself and the news of the week, we also have our 3 pop questions, right? So 3 pop questions are basically the questions that I ask all my guests, which is to just basically get under the hood of who Aimee is as an individual, and tells my listeners exactly what they need to know about you as a person, right? In 3 simple questions, right? We're all devised by myself, nothing scientific about it. But the first question, and the most important question of my show, is cream teas. So you have a scone, you have jam, you have cream.
Yeah.
But what goes first, the jam or the cream?
The jam.
Good answer. I'm always on edge when I ask that one, because I don't want to have to kick people out and they say cream and you go, well, how do you put jam on cream, right?
Yeah, that's right. I thought that. I was like,
it can only be one way, right?
You can't spread it. If you have a really cheap jam, which sometimes not everyone can afford.
Yeah, the good jam.
Yeah. If you have a real cheap jam, how do you spread it on top of
cream? Just impossible. It's just a mess. It's not coming off the knife. It's just like,
there's 3 parts gelatin, so you can't.
No, exactly. But try telling that to people in Devon, like where I come from. Devon, it's jam second. It's cream first, jam, but Cornwall do it the right way. Cornwall do jam then cream.
Do they have sloppy jam?
No.
Devon?
It's like, but it's just it doesn't make any sense to me. It's an absolute fight. It's the 2 sort of southwesterly counties in the UK are like they fight this out. But I'm with Cornwall every step of the way. The science supports us, Aimee.
Jam then cream.
Science supports us.
Yeah.
That's the only question you get wrong on my show. So after this, it's
smooth sailing.
It's free and easy from this point forward. Now, second question, equally as important, but it doesn't matter that you get it with you. There's no wrong answers on this one. Who is your favourite Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle?
Donatello.
It's a good answer. There's, they're all Renaissance painters. They're all fantastic. Yeah. They're all fantastic. They're all cowabunga in their own individual right? So you can't get them wrong.
Yeah.
So you could have even gone for Master Splinter, the giant rat, and I would have let you have it. To be completely fair. So now, third and final question is a thinker. Right, so the third and final question is, would you rather talk like Yoda or breathe like Darth Vader?
Breathe like Darth Vader.
You probably do that a little bit in your fire mask, didn't you? I would have thought you probably do that.
I was going to say that. Yeah.
Breathe
and at least then people can understand you, right?
Yeah, breathe like Vader you do.
Yeah.
So I think I'd rather talk like Yoda. It's my personal one. I think I would talk like Yoda I would. Because I think sometimes people think I talk like Yoda anyway. like because I barely make sense.
Oh,
so,
rough.
but I don't. There's no wrong answer on that one. Like it's like it's Star Wars. It's cool. It's cool regardless. But I can imagine you would once you got your respirator or whatever you got in, like
positive pressure masks.
Yeah,
like,
you could just get that whole like breathing, like exactly. So, do you guys do that? Like, is there a mic in there? Like,
yeah, there is.
So like you can just sort of
And
go,
we can-
I am your father. Has anyone come across and done that? With like, yeah,
say lots of stuff.
yeah. It's like I am your father. That'd be fantastic.
Yep.
So that's the important part of the show. Like the rest of this is just like a chinwag. So, but what we're going to do now is we're going to talk about the 3 topics of the week. So going back. So first one, and it's got a lot of noise, not just on What's News Dunedin, but everywhere across social media, because it's always the case that when the council does something, people don't like it, right? So what they've done is, if you follow the history of this is important as well, is that the community in the Queen's Drive, the City Rise area, have come forward and said they would like something different to what Queen's Drive currently gives them, which is basically a cut through from one side of the town belt to the other. There's quite a lot of routes through that, and they've done some science on the car movements, figured out that actually there's not that many car movements during the day through that area, and therefore the community has asked for a trial of closing it off for cars and actually putting other things in that space. So this week they've started putting in some furniture they've kind of reused from when they did the Octagon experiment and stuff like that. And bearing in mind that Octagon trial, I want people to listen to this, the Octagon trial didn't become permanent because people said they didn't like it, right? So they are literally waiting for feedback from people, right? This is not a done deal like many people on Facebook would already.
There, trial.
Trial is absolutely a trial, but it's not just that. There's like a bird walk. They've kind of cut off a bit of Braids Road as well, and there's some other bits and pieces going on. So it's trying to enjoy a space of something other than vehicles, right? Been asked for by the community. They're reusing a lot of stuff from before. It is actually costing $15,100. That's the budget for it, which when you work it back is actually a tiny, tiny, tiny proportion of the 200 million capex that they spend every year on stuff. There was a community board member decided he doesn't like it, thinks it's ugly, put it up on Facebook, put it on What's News Dunedin, put it on Dunedin News, put it on Dunedin News Uncut, ended up in the paper about it because actually, again, like it was a pretty kind of like, it's ugly, it's this, it's that. Like, it's a trial.
Yeah.
It's like, in my mind, it's a trial. Like, if your feedback is it's ugly, you're looking at it wrong. Because actually, it's not about it's not about that. It's about what you've created in the space. Whether you think the furniture's ugly, that's not. They'd be up in arms if we spent $2 million making pretty furniture
for a trial.
All right, and it's been asked for by the community. So I found it. I mean, Jared Hodson, who is the West Harbour Community Board Chair, he's a friend of the show. He's been on the show. He's a lovely guy. I get on. He doesn't answer the scone question properly, but we let it slide because he is genuinely a really nice man, right? He stood for council. He's a lovely guy, right? Heart's absolutely in the right place. But I think he's kind of missed the point here on this particular one, and hopefully he doesn't mind me disagreeing with him, is in the sense that it's a community-driven thing. If West Harbour want something, you'd hope that the rest of us would give him the same support. And it seems even though he's kind of saying it in his personal capacity, I don't think you can take the West Harbour Community Board Chair out of the personal reproach, especially when he's saying there's pavements in West Harbour that need fixing. Well, they're two separate things, in my mind. Yeah.
Yeah, they are.
And they should also be happening concurrently. That just because that's happening shouldn't mean that the pavements aren't being fixed. And a city can do multiple things at the same time. And I think that's what people struggle with.
Yeah. Yep.
What are your thoughts?
I think how are they managing it? How are they seeing how it's going to be used or trialled?
Well, as far as I know,
is it just going to be on public feedback?
I think that's part of it, absolutely. And usage. So they've got I think they've got counters in and stuff like that in order to kind of measure sort of throughut of individuals now.
Yep.
And again, these are being reused from other places where they've done the same thing, right? So they're not suddenly gone out and bought whatever they human counters or movement counters or whatever they're called.
Yeah, because that's a really telling that's a really telling thing, right? Those movement counters. You could have public perception and public opinion as one part, but movement counters, absolutely.
And that's
the proof's in the pudding, right?
That's what I think. I think that's what I very much believe that's what the trial does, and the people that are doing this are doing it on request. And that's the thing that's going well for me. The community is requesting something, then we should be open to progressing. Because if we don't do things like this, if we don't change, then we stagnate. We don't. It's like, can you imagine if someone had said back in the day that we don't have the town belt? Someone had gone like, well, that's just too difficult to have trees and stuff there.
We can't have outdoor seating.
No, exactly. We can't do that stuff. And you just kind of go, actually, come on, like we need to. And like from a community point of view, I support these things. I would hope that if they did if Brighton decided they want to do something, that the other communities would actually see that yes, that's right.
Yep.
I don't think we should be doing that instead of doing something else, but I think we should be doing that as well as something else. Yep. And when you're talking a drop in the ocean, everyone's going, well, we'll spend that money when all the roads are fixed. The roads are never fixed.
Yeah.
Ever. Like, that's perpetual, right? Genuinely, your infrastructure is never finished.
No.
Right? We can go another million years.
Because we're forever using it.
Yeah, we're forever.
Trucks are forever running down West Harbour.
Yeah, exactly.
Road.
We're forever breaking it. So because we're forever breaking it, we're forever fixing it. So you can't turn around and say, well, I'm happy for that money to be spent as soon as we've got nothing else to do in the city. Well,
it's never going to happen.
It doesn't happen, does it? That's the thing. So
because
again,
it's progression. Progression's always going to happen. That's what I've been saying for the last year or so. Progression will always happen. You can fight it all you like, but it'll always happen. AI.
Yeah.
AI never existed.
Now it's doing whatever it does.
Yeah.
So some would argue it's now sitting around the council table, but that's a completely different argument and not one that I'm making. But it's like, but I've seen that argued online.
Yeah.
Like, is he AI? No. And we'll talk about Councillor Wrong later, but that's who it's aimed at. But he's embraced that himself, to be fair, and he's kind of almost said that he is. But he's clearly a human being. But that's the thing for me, and it felt wrong. It's very difficult to say. It's like if you're the chair of a community board, to try and say something in your personal capacity is almost impossible. And I think again, it's just one of those things. There's a naivety there that suggests that perhaps you think you can, but you can't. Once you've got that title, you're representative, and if you're going out on three big Dunedin pages, and then you end up in the ODT because of what you've done on those pages, that kind of tells you that you're not in your personal capacity. Because if I say stuff in my personal capacity, and I say a lot in my personal capacity, I don't end up in the paper.
No.
Not that the ODT likes me very much, but I don't. They could pick up any story that I'm talking about. They'd never choose to. They'd pick it up because he is the West Harbour Community Chairboard.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's like you say, it's a trial.
It's a trial. It's a trial. You might get to the end of it and go, didn't work.
Yeah.
It's like, but I tell you what,
can't knock them for trying it.
I'm going to go there to look at it, and that's somewhere I've never been in the city before. I've never driven down Queen's Drive, but I'm inclined to go and actually have a look at it because of what they're trying to do there as something different. So I think that says something as well.
And it's really cool for the community. It's awesome that the council are doing it to help that community.
Absolutely.
To give them that place where they want to go and hang out. Because it's a beautiful area.
Yes.
Beautiful area. Gets all day sun. All day sun.
I wouldn't know. I've never been. But I'm going to go during the trial. But I wouldn't have gone just to drive down there.
See? Pulling someone else out of another little bit of the community
into that part of the community. Me and my whānau will go there now. Just because that exists. So that's the that's the thing. So I just see it for the positives that it is. I've always been a glass half full kind of guy. Like genuinely, that whole you can spend stuff on your vanity projects as soon as you've done everything else. That doesn't sit right with me because you can't ever do everything else.
No, it's ongoing.
It's ongoing. I mean, and we want the city to be a great place to live in.
Yeah.
And that means keeping it moving and progressing and changing because it's not the city it was 60 years ago because we progressed.
Yeah.
And it's
not everybody
city.
agreed with the cycle.
Oh,
it is what it is. They're trying to help different areas.
You've got to help everyone.
Yeah.
So
yeah, that's right.
I want to talk about like a proper serious subject, unfortunately, and that's the awful weather that we've been having.
Yeah.
And those horrible landslides in Mount Maunganui, which has obviously taken lives. I don't know what the count is. To be fair, like one death is a heartbreak and a sadness to me. But there was an article in the paper today about someone from Santana, the mining people, kind of denying climate change and denying man-made climate change. And you're kind of looking at what's gone on there in the north of the country. People have died, and you've still got people who are trying to say that
Deny it.
They're trying to deny it. They're saying it's not a climate emergency. It's just the weather. It's not. We're getting 1 in 100-year events every single year after year, and people are just looking at it and kind of going, "Oh, it was just the weather." It's not. People are dying. That was absolutely tragic. I mean, we haven't had a summer yet.
No.
Yeah.
No, we haven't. They had a slight summer before Christmas up that area, so but that speaks to the dramatic changes that we're experiencing with weather.
Yeah.
Yep.
Now, as a firefighter, you'll understand possibly the huge resource and effort that goes into dealing with something like that as a first responder, as an emergency.
It's massive. Yeah.
Emergency
it's
personnel,
and the resources that have to go into something like that, unless we saw it down here with our floods that pulled so many different resources in. It pulls the army in with the sandbagging. It pulls the whole community. Like it's a huge thing. So you can think about it on that scale up there. It's the same thing. It's huge resources, and money that go in. That like this has to be paid for out of somewhere. But and it's a lot of people. It's a lot of time. It's a lot of hours. But it's happening more and more frequently.
And it's also the disruption, the displacement of people from where they were supposed to be to somewhere else, temporary or otherwise. It's just one of those things that I look at and kind of go like, there is just like Mother Nature is so damn powerful, right? Do not get in her way, ever.
It's unforgiving.
Totally unforgiving, and it's like no matter how much you can try and protect yourself or future-proof yourself from these things actually physically happening, Mother Nature's going to come and find you, right? And it's just and in that regard, it's such a powerful thing. But I just look at it and kind of go, I don't get how then even after events like this, there is still that denial of what we are doing to our planet, because that's part and parcel of that. Like, whilst it might be the rain and the water that caused it, we as humans have caused those 1 in 100-year events to actually happen more frequently.
Yep.
And why we can't acknowledge that? And we've still got governments that are still looking at it kind of going, we'll just kick that can down the road a little bit. And I'm not talking just this government. I'm talking about the government before and the government before that. We need to do something. Yeah. We need to stop pretending. We need to stop burying our head in the sand and say nothing's happening. We need to start doing something. And in fact, what we're seeing is we're seeing less.
Oh, I don't know. I don't know if we're seeing less. I think there's more of an emphasis being put on what's happening rather than what we should be doing. Yeah. Because it's more pronounced, right? Like it's
it's happening right now.
Yeah. The AA are not going to insure any more properties over in Westport.
Right.
Because that was announced. It's just been announced.
Okay, I missed that one.
Yesterday, today.
Right.
AA. Yeah, so AA insurance, you buy a property over in Westport, you won't get insurance for it now with AA.
Right.
Because they're blacklisting it.
Right.
Essentially because it's had 2 major floods in the last 2021 and there's properties over there that have had 2 massive payouts from flooding in the last 5 years.
Yeah.
And So they've decided they're the first ones to do it.
Okay.
Like, brave move.
Yes.
But they can obviously see the writing on the wall.
Yeah.
And I think, unfortunately, that's going to be something that, like, as much as when, like, I live in South Dunedin.
Yeah.
So I guess it's important to talk about it. Is that going to be something that's going to happen in the future? I hope not.
No, I hope not too. And I think, go on, but yeah, you don't know, do you?
That's it.
And
they've just made a stand in.
I don't know what Westport are doing with regards to mitigating that, but at least we've got people looking at mitigating what's going on with South Dunedin, which might help get beyond that from an insurance point of view, because insurance companies, they don't make money. Right, they want to take money off you, and they don't want to give it back to you. All right,
no.
When they start giving you money and not taking enough money off you, then they want to go, I don't want to do that no more. You know, so it's one of the, we've got to understand it's a business, right?
Yeah.
So, but we are in a situation at least where we are thinking and we're preparing to do something about it, which might, I don't know if that's the situation in Westport.
Yeah, I don't know.
It might not be. Well, there might be, you know, but hopefully we get beyond it. Now, while we're talking about council and what they might be doing, Councillor Wrong brought a code of conduct complaint against Councillor Chambers for alleged saying some horrible things about a certain community. I'm not even sure what it is, right? Article in the paper this week that basically sort of says that whilst they've appointed someone to Steph Dryberg, who's to investigate the claims, it would appear that Councillor Wrong hasn't actually told them what the complaint actually is, other than the fact he's saying he said nasty things, but won't tell them what the nasty things were, which seems really weird in my mind. And it just seems one of those things. Actually, like, what they still expect the investigation to go ahead, but without actually providing the information at the front.
This sounds like something that would go on at Montessori. You know what Montessori is? You know Montessori, the kindies?
Yeah, absolutely.
The daycares around town?
Yeah, I know. It is. It's these are grown up, these are adults, right? In my mind.
Our council.
Oh, this is our council. Yeah, exactly. But I mean, you know, there's an accusation of racist comment, right? And if that has happened, then I would very much want that investigated. And if Councillor Chambers has made the racist comment, I would like them to be, you know, I'd like them to face the appropriate, you know, reprimand for doing that. I've got that. I abhor racism. If you're on my page, you know that I abhor racism. But you can't make a claim at the front end, not provide the information in the middle of it, and expect the investigation to go ahead without the person who's doing the investigation saying nothing to see here. You know, you've got to at least, you know. But I think Councillor Wrong seems to have got off on a very, very wonky footing right now, and he's trying to play it out in the media and on the social media, but actually he's losing support left, right, and centre as he's doing that, because he's coming across a little bit, I don't know, immature. I'm not sure what the right word is, but if you're not going to back your statements up with true facts, then no one's going to, you know, it's almost like the boy who cried wolf. So I've got no idea where this is going to end up, but I can see it's probably going to end up with Steph Dryberg coming in and going, There's no allegation to answer. These are our councillors.
Yeah.
Someone voted for them.
How much do you think it'll cost? Do you think it'll cost more than $15,000?
Probably will. Yeah,
we could have had seating in another area.
I know.
In the city.
But genuinely,
they could have fixed some more footpaths.
Exactly, because the cost of putting that private investigator in, I've seen them before when they've done. They're normally in the tens of thousands of dollars. You know, literally just for bringing someone in to investigate a code of conduct complaint, because there's been something like 27 against Councillor Vandervis over the last 20-something years, and I've seen the breakdowns of all of those, and none of them cost $5, right?
That's
you know, as soon as you engage someone, thousands of dollars. Then you get the lawyers get involved, and, like, do you know what I'm saying? If there's any counterclaims, so you're right. I mean, it's like, you know,
I don't know. Like, wouldn't it be more appropriate, or to fully disclose all the details and
especially
put it out to the public,
especially when the claim is that everyone heard it, All right, so apparently it was everyone heard whatever he said. This is what's been reported in the papers, that Councillor Ron is claiming that everyone at council heard it and council staff heard it. So why isn't he just saying what it was? Has he forgotten, or is he? I don't know. Like,
Has
genuinely,
it been recorded? Was it in a meeting?
It wasn't in a council meeting, because obviously that would be available as a record. It was in a meeting that they had, like one of their sort of like it's closed door meetings. Not it wasn't confidential. It was just a meeting that they have around lots of other different bits and pieces, like a council workshop. Ultimately,
I can't imagine that anybody else would stand for that kind of behaviour happening in a meeting, would they?
No. It's like I can't imagine if Councillor Chambers had said whatever he's supposed to have said. I would imagine all the councillors would have brought a code of conduct complaint against him. It wouldn't just be one person doing it; it would be the whole lot. And the fact that it's just one person who won't tell them what he said, it just looks a bit kind of schoolboy, childish, and I don't know quite where it's going to go. But I'd like if it's immaterial, as in there's no substance to it, I feel sorry for John Chambers, because he's the one that's just sat there and done as he's asked, kept quiet about it, whereas Councillor Long has just literally gone blitzed it everywhere, which is against the request of council. And there's a conduct complaint going on. Please keep quiet about it, and it will be investigated. He hasn't done that. He's actually sort of blasted out to everyone, all in sundry, in order to try and garner support by it seems to be. Councillor Chambers has done what he's been told and shut up. And I feel sorry. If there's no foundation to it, I feel sorry for him. If he's done something wrong, he should apologise. Yeah. Genuinely, especially if it's a racist comment. He'd actually say something.
He would have already, right?
I think so. Councillor Chambers doesn't seem the kind of person that if he got something wrong, he wouldn't turn around immediately and say, "Look, I'm sorry, that wasn't what I intended," or "I didn't mean it in the way it was," or whatever. Yeah. He seems that kind of guy that would just put his hand and go, "Sorry, mea culpa. I'll apologise." Like, yeah, exactly, and would put it to bed straight away. So. It'd be interesting.
I would expect anybody in that area to behave like that as well.
Yeah. So would I. Yeah. So I'm going to start talking about you in a second. So we'll move away from the news. But before we do, it's going to get a quick word from our wonderful sponsor.
Have you checked out Hazur Kebab yet? It's your go-to for a delicious lunch, a tasty dinner, or anything in between. Order online to save time and pick up some delicious, authentic Turkish cuisine in just minutes. HazurKebabCafe.co.nz. Dine in or take away at 906 George Street.
Are you a kebab fan?
I am.
Yeah?
Yep.
Hazur, have you been to Hazur?
I have.
They're good, eh?
They are good.
Yeah.
They are good. They're very good. We go to them a lot, actually. We support them as a brigade because they support us.
Yeah.
We have these little areas around the place that support us as emergency services, and Hazur are one of them, so we support them, heavily support them. Yep,
he is such a wonderful human being. Yep. I've adopted him. I have. I've told him. He's whānau now. That's it. He's part of the family.
Yeah. They're so lovely.
But the whole crew there are just lovely. Like genuinely, they're just like they're like a colony of ants. They're like it's organised chaos.
Yeah.
And they're all loving it. They clearly love working there as well, which shows you what the place is like, right?
Yep.
They've always got smiles on their faces. All the food's served with love.
Yeah, they're great.
And I'm heading there Sunday for my daughter's birthday. Like we all, all the kids get to choose where they go for food on their birthday, and she always like going for a kebab day.
Nice. Yeah, they're great.
No questions, no worries about that from me. So I want to talk about you. We've obviously had conversations online. Have been talking to you about the strikes and those kind of things. Give us a bit of a rundown of how we got to where we got to, right? Because I think that quite a lot of us are fully kind of aware of the lack of resources that are being provided for our emergency personnel. The 40-year-old trucks and all that kind of things. But perhaps you can give me a little bit of a rundown about how you've come to be senior firefighter for a start, and how you've got to that position. Not that I don't want your CV or anything, but and what the challenges are currently, and why you guys are striking, and why we need to be supporting you in everything you're doing right now, because you've got my full support with regards to that. And anything we can do to talk about it and highlight the issues that are going on, the better. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Give us the skinny.
Sure. So I, as you know, I'm a career firefighter based out of Dunedin Central Station with the amazing team down there. I've been a career firefighter for between 13 and 14 years.
Okay.
Yep. And I began my fire service, what was the New Zealand Fire Service career, as a volunteer out in Waikouaiti, 45 k's north of here.
Yep.
Best beach around, if you haven't been out there.
Brighton Beach.
Oh, yeah, I know, but...
I live in Brighton.
Oh, yeah, okay. Yeah, all right. Yeah. Well, if you're ever travelling that way, call out.
It's a good beach. I have been to
Waikouaiti
Waikouaiti Beach. It's a lovely beach, so I won't take that away from it.
Yeah. So they were looking for members to help them. They were shorter members, especially on the weekends. So I joined with them 4 or 5 years before that and loved it. And so then obviously came into town for some training and met the town guys and loved it. And so worked through the process of the recruitment process, which can be long, like any civil service. Really, it's a big recruitment process. You've got to go through heaps of hoops and do lots of different stuff. Joined the career service, and so we start as what we call recruit firefighters. When I started, our base salary was $42,000.
Okay.
Yeah. And then you get a wee pay rise once you finish your 3 months training. We go up to Rotorua, is where our national training centre is. Up there is, they have this amazing facility. It's like a little town out in the industrial area, right opposite the airport there, where there is everything you need to train for. Well, there was until last year. Everything you need to train for to become a firefighter. So up there is where they train you to become a firefighter. They've also got all of your progressionary training that you go through in your career when you decide to progress. And they have gas props to set. They've got hotels where, rooms. They've got a ship built in the back of the hotel area to work, to train in doing ship firefighting. They've got a train station. They've got little roads. They've got fish and chip shops. They've got wreckers. They've got a petrol station, and all with gas props built in with gas props to mimic all of these different scenarios that you might come across. They've got flats. They've got everything. They've got a river that they fill up with water, and they've got live fire training facilities. So obviously it's really important for us to train in live firefighting before we become your fire service, so that we know what we're doing. We don't currently have any live fire training facilities in New Zealand because they're all broken. Something we'll talk about later. You go up there and you do your 3 months training course, which is when you go on to recruit firefighting wages. And then you come back to station and you can progress through the ranks there. It's essential for us to progress up to qualified firefighter status, and then it's optional to move up. So your next move is senior firefighter. And then once you get to senior firefighter, you can do what's called your station officer taps, which is you become the boss of a station and a crew on a truck. And then you can move up to senior station officer, and then you can go through the executive officer ranks. So I'm currently a senior firefighter. I'm on the station officer TAPS program, actively on it. I'm not sure, because it's a big step, right? And you move from so I'm currently a senior firefighter driver on all of the appliances. Yep. And it's a move from driving and firefighting. So I currently move from in the driver's seat to in the back seat. So the firefighters in the back seat do the doing, and the driver drives, and the boss in the front passenger seat is the officer. He tells us what to do, and they make decisions on tactics and stuff that we do at jobs. So it's a move from the doey to the tell people to doey.
Yep.
Yeah.
Got you.
So I will do it. But anyway, so and I'm currently just in the process of becoming a driving instructor for the trucks.
Right.
So when you decide that you want to become a driver, you do a driving course with a driving instructor, and we have to be externally trained as driving instructors. So I can currently teach people and have been teaching people how to drive cars.
Yep.
And then you come into the service and they teach you how to teach people how to drive trucks and emergency respond in trucks and all of the handling and all of that kind of stuff that we do. So, yeah, I'm almost finished doing that process of becoming a driving instructor. When I do, I'll be the first female driving instructor that the fire service and foreign emergencies ever had.
Ever had?
Ever had.
In the whole of New Zealand?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, that's some accolade.
It's pretty cool.
It is pretty cool.
Yeah.
It's also sad in my mind that it's 2026, and we're still breaking that kind of glass ceiling.
Yeah. The other thing that's happening at the moment is we've just got the first prototype of level 2 alternative. We're going to call it alternative fit, because when we did a fitting of a whole heap of people in Auckland last week with it, there were 3 of our male counterparts that fitted it better than they fit their normal firefighting gear.
Right.
Alternative fit. So originally it was the female fit, but now we're deciding to call it alternative fit. So we've got the first prototype of that for our female firefighters, or those that fit it better to wear. We'll go through trialling of it, so station trials in the next few months.
So that's the protective clothing.
Yeah, our protective clothing. So it's essentially it's a female fit rather than a square male box fit. You know how your t-shirts are straight at the sides,
yes,
and your wife's t-shirts will dart in the waist a little bit better and dart out at the hips a little bit more, and then dart out around the chest a little bit more. Yeah, so it's essentially just made like that, fits us better.
And again, like 2026, and we just get into that, because I remember you made a comment about that online,
yes,
on the group, and I was like,
Good News Tuesday.
I was like, wow, that's like, again, it's like, whilst it's great, I mean, I applaud it. It's absolutely fantastic. It's like something to celebrate. I then stop and go, we're 2026. Yeah. That's we should have been doing that since 1996. You know, it's like it's we've had female firefighters for a long, long time, and if we're not putting them in the right clothes, the right protection, then we're actually impeding them in a way that we don't need to. It's like, genuinely, that's one of those things that we need to,
anyone for that matter.
Anyone. Again, as you say, the alternative fit. If that kind of shape fits someone, fits a male or a female, it doesn't matter. It actually allows them to be more comfortable in the equipment, because that stuff's big enough and heavy enough and cumbersome enough. I'm guessing. I've never worn it, but I've seen the pictures.
Without having extra material in places to hinder you even more.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, absolutely.
We're already asking you to do a tough job in tough clothes, with in tough surroundings. Life or death decisions are happening literally in the millisecond, and we're making it harder for whoever it is by not even fitting the clothes to them in a way that actually makes it easier to do what they're trying to do.
Yeah, yeah.
But
Correct.
This is synonymous with where we're at right now, because we're not equipping our people the way we should be, and the way that allows them to do their job safely. Right? So maybe you can talk a little bit about that, because that's something that, again, I've seen in the news a lot, and it's something that you just want. Is that the main reason you're striking at the moment, or is there more to it?
Yeah. So the overall thing is there's just not enough money getting down to the front line to keep us with the right equipment and pay us fairly in accordance with what's happening across the whole organisation.
Right.
So we haven't had a contract since July 2024.
Ouch.
Yeah. We went through all of this industrial action prior to our last contract because they weren't going to offer us anything, any pay rise. And like a lot of it is our equipment and fleet issues. A fair chunk of what was agreed to last contract hasn't quite happened yet. And there's a lot of, we're doing this and we're doing this and we're doing this, but it's essentially it's not happening, or it's taking a long time to happen. So we're meant to be getting, like, end of last contract, it was agreed, yep, we've got these 5 or 6 aerial appliances that we've ordered. Those aerial appliances have been sitting, waiting, and pretty much nothing has happened for a year to them. They've had a frame for some lockers been put on them.
What are they waiting for? Fit out or?
Yep.
Right.
How long does it take?
Well, not exactly. And how much money is being wasted while they don't fit it out? This was the argument that I had about the hospital, right? Because the longer you leave it, the more expensive it costs, right? If you did it when it first happened, it's the cheapest time to do something.
Yeah.
You wait 6 months, everything's gone up in price. It's now become more expensive than what you would have done if you'd have done it 6 months ago. Same with the hospital build, right?
And the more risk that's posed to your public.
Yeah.
So we have our leaders sitting there saying, oh, it doesn't matter if we don't have proper working aerial appliances because our firefighters are well trained in internal firefighting. But on the other hand, all of our live fire training facilities are currently either not operating, or they're seriously compromised. We've got one in Woolston that it leaks smoke all through the area, and Woolston Training Centre is located right beside a bunch of flats. So
right.
Whenever it's operating, like they're fitting out this big scrubber system to it to essentially clean the smoke and then have it operating. But so the live fire training facilities up in Rotorua aren't operating. Our last recruits got sent to Auckland. They were either going to get sent over to Melbourne to use Melbourne's live fire training facilities, but they ended up getting sent to Auckland to use Auckland Airport's live fire training facilities, which is half the size of what in our national training centres are. And really, it's, and this is all stuff that's been happening for a very long time.
And when you say it, right, it doesn't make any sense, right? Because
you had a 17% increase on your fire levy and your insurance 2 years ago. 17%.
Yeah.
Fire and Emergency their levy has been increased by millions and millions of dollars, yet while their firefighters are in industrial action with them, they've now just gone and dropped a restructure on the whole organisation.
Right. But they're putting everyone at risk, right? It's not just you, right? It's not just you as firefighters. Yep. It's me as the person that might need a firefighter, right? Yep. It's my next door neighbour whose house goes up in flames and you can't put the fire out because the aerial appliance breaks down on the way to. And we've seen that in the news in the paper recently. Where you literally you drive into the bloody to get onto site and the bloody appliance, the 37-year-old truck that you're driving. The
accelerator cable breaks on it.
Exactly.
Yep.
And you've got mechanics and engineers doing fantastic jobs keeping old pieces of crap like on the road in order to keep, to do your jobs. But you are literally putting everyone at risk. Yep. And it is an absolute miracle that, as far as I know, no one has died from that risk yet. But it's coming, right? It is literally... It's going to happen on someone's watch. And what's going to be the argument? I mean, to me, what's going to be the argument at that point when that happens? It's like, well, we did our best. No, you didn't. Like you've got appliances sitting there doing nothing. Like take some of that $3 billion that you gave to landlords, put it into those trucks and give it to people to keep them alive.
Yeah, and like our government is our current government is. They're another problem with this. So last year they passed a bill that said nurses and firefighters, their contracts cannot be signed off without running it through the government.
Wow.
why just us two?
Yeah, exactly. I thought they were trying to get rid of regulation. I thought they were trying to get rid of red tape. I thought they were. You ask David Seymour, and he'll tell you that they're trying to get rid of all that kind of stuff.
They've just given granted builders the ability to sign everything off.
Sign their own work off. Genuinely, it's one of the things as someone that works in real estate, because I do, like having to deal with that in the future is something that I am not looking forward to, because that is opening up a can of worms that it will potentially be bigger than the Leaky Homes debacle of the 1990s, because people signing off. There's enough cowboy builders out there as it stands right now without them be able to sign off their own. I mean, how many times do we see it? Building companies going on bust because of unethical practices. These are big companies. Big under big franchise names. Someone just been able to put their signature on something and go, yeah, I'll sign that off with no comeback, no guarantees. That's just a nightmare. But
so they're using that as a reason for we can't. So they've been in facilitation this week, as you know. They were going to FEN's requested facilitation that we go through the ERA for facilitation rather than negotiating, and that was their reason for not turning up to any of our negotiations before Christmas. And so they've been in facilitation this week, and we've just been notified this week that the facilitation hasn't gone very well. They're still saying this is our fiscal envelope that we've got to work with. We can't offer you anything more than we've already offered you, which that in itself that's not facilitation, right?
No.
Like if they're essentially saying, well, you guys just need to drop what you want and take what we're offering.
Take what we're offering, even though it puts everyone in danger, even though it puts people at risk, even if it puts the public at risk. That's fair enough.
Yeah.
And I'm a firm believer of this. Is there's no such thing as not enough money when you're in government, because it's political will that determines whether if they wanted to, they could find you $1 billion tomorrow, and they could literally just fund it. Like to the hilt, they could fund it. It's political will, and I can't understand that there's not political will to keep our emergency services personnel alive, well, and doing the job that they're paid to do and protecting the public. That should never be a question of political will, in my opinion. It's just absolutely diabolical thinking to say just don't have the money to help you protect people's lives.
Yeah,
that just makes me want to scream. I want to come to that in a second, because before I scream, I want to just run another ad from our wonderful sponsor.
Have you checked out Hazur Kebab yet? It's your go-to for a delicious lunch, a tasty dinner, or anything in between. Order online to save time and pick up some delicious, authentic Turkish cuisine in just minutes. HazurKebabCafe.co.nz. Dine in or take away at 906 George Street.
So I'm talking about that political will, like because of the fact that we pay that fire
levy.
Mm-hmm.
And your insurance, every kind of insurance you pay has a fire levy component to it.
Yeah, and that's a percentage, right?
Yep.
Yeah, okay.
Even on your car insurance, everything.
Yeah. So insurance, full stop, has gone up massively, right?
Yep.
It's crazy. They say in the cost of living crisis, insurance is the thing that's kind of doubled. It's actually gone up more than anything else, right? So that means that fire levy, because it's a percentage, has also, from a dollar value, gone up massively as well, right? Because if my insurance has gone from $100 to $200, that 17% has gone from $17 to $34. I know you're impressed with the maths. I mean, it's like just mental gymnastics of mine is fantastic. But I've now given you $34 instead of $17, right?
Yep.
Simple as that, right? Yep. To then turn around and say we don't have the money, right, is, in my mind, ludicrous. But at the end of the day, if there's a shortfall, then a government needs to make that right, because you can't. I mean, if it's not a rude question, and it might be, and if it is, please tell me to shut my mouth and I'll go away. What do they pay you? What's this? What is this? I mean, we saw firefighters starting was like 42. What is a?
So we now start on 56.
Right.
Yeah. The lowest paid employees in fire and emergency is a recruit firefighter.
Right.
Or a new firefighter that comes off recruit course.
Right.
Yep.
56. But then when you get to a senior firefighter, what kind of level are you at?
You're sort of sitting around the 80-ish mark.
Right. Which is only still the median.
80, 85
it's only still the kind of median New Zealand salary. That's not
Yeah.
that's not well paid, right? I mean, without
No.
it's not it's not living in the life of luxury. Eating caviar every time you go out for dinner.
Yeah.
That is,
And we're talking people that work 24/7. You're working shift work.
Yeah.
We're working through public holidays. We're working 365 days a year.
Yeah.
And that's all okay. But it's the stuff that we're seeing. It's the people that we're dealing with. It's the situations that we're going into. It's all of that kind of stuff. But it's also about fairness. It's also about, all we're saying is, if you can, so boards this year have just had 100% pay rise. All boards.
Yeah.
The government said, boards, you can have 100% pay rise.
Yeah.
Cool. So Fire and Emergency also gave themselves all of their non-operational, we call them, so non-firefighter people, a 2% pay rise. They're offering us, over a 3-year period, 2.5% with no back pay for the contract that we haven't had for nearly 2 years.
Wow.
And so, where is the fairness?
There is no fairness. And the fact of the matter is, you guys are striking and you deserve to be striking, but you're striking fairly, right? Because let's say you walked out for a whole day, there'd be, people would die.
Yeah.
The people would die, right? But so you have because you are people that care deeply, and I know you do, because it's like you wouldn't be doing the job that you do if you didn't have that protection of life and all that kind of thing in what you in the way you're made up. You're striking fairly and being treated unfairly, and I can't. You're putting yourself at risk, right? So forget the fact you're getting paid like a median type wage for what you do. Our local councillors who don't put their lives at risk get paid 20 grand more than you just for going to work, right? That's they get 100 grand, right? But they don't have to worry about whether their appliance gets them to where they need to be. They don't have to worry about safety. They don't have to worry about protecting someone else's. They don't have to worry about the trauma of dealing with the child you didn't save, the life that you saw lost, the remains that you taken from a burning building, car, vehicle, whatever. They don't have to deal with any of that, right? And what you've got is a organisation and a government that is not giving you fair and equitable
and it's
resources.
Not just us, right? It's the whole of New Zealand. It's because 80% of fire and emergencies firefighters are volunteers.
Yeah.
Right. It's also them that they're not looking after. It's also them that they're not providing them with good equipment, good resources.
Yeah.
They're not keeping their trucks up to
And
date.
they're volunteers.
Yep.
That's
Yep. And I've been a volunteer. I know the commitment it takes.
Yeah, my next door neighbour was a volunteer, and when the siren goes off in Brighton, because the pages have all gone off and not enough people have responded, and the alarm goes off, and you just kind of go in. These guys are going out and doing their jobs, and which they're real jobs, and then they're going out and fighting fires on the back of that, and all they're getting for that is what? They don't get paid.
No.
They get thanks. They get
an annual payment of $400 or $500, and
that is a very it's wrong.
Yep. And they're also having to deal with the truck breakdowns at jobs.
Of course, that equipment, the equipment issue affects them as much as it affects anyone else that's getting into it.
Coverage for carcinogens hasn't been extended to them, and they're fighting that at the moment. It's all these little things that they're just it's not being recognised by this government. That, if you ask me, you're an empathetic person and you understand where we're coming from and the fight that we're fighting, and because a lot of this stuff we're also not fighting to get this for ourselves, right? We're planting the seeds. This happened in the 90s. They were in industrial action for 10 years in the 90s.
Wow.
Because they were fighting for better conditions. It's systemic, but these are seeds that we're planting for trees that we won't sit under, and it's not. This isn't going to fix it for us. We're trying to fix stuff for future firefighters.
And that's where we've got to stop it. We've run out of time. I told you we would. I could talk to you for another hour quite happily. Thank you very much.
You're
Fully
welcome.
support you, your cause. If there's anything I can ever do, you literally only got to ask.
Thanks for having me.
No worries. You take care. Just sit there while I just round out the show. Well, that's a wrap for this week. Thank you for tuning in. I've been Richard Knights, and you've all been wonderful. Remember, if you're looking for robust, respectful adult debate about all things local and further afield, and a welcoming online community doesn't take itself too seriously, come and find What's News Dunedin on Facebook and join our fun. On next week's show, we'll be talking to Rob Wade from Kiwi Swim Club. Look forward to seeing you next Friday at 12 on OAR FM. And if you want to listen to the show again, or simply share it with your friends, you can find the podcast at oar.org.nz, or even on Spotify, YouTube, or your favourite podcast provider.
This podcast was produced by OAR FM Dunedin with support from New Zealand On the Air.